Does anybody want to get in an ice bath? No, it never gets warmer. It's never going to get warmer. But that is a mental battle with my weaker self. I'm fucking getting in that thing. Those little wins, that's a muscle. You're building a muscle in your brain. Sports is the greatest area where there's immediate results, there's manufactured adversity, there's haters, there's politics, blood, there's sweat, there's tears. And I tell my kids this all the time. I don't care if they're good at sports, but I do care if they are dedicated to being the best versions of themselves in something that they chose to be in. We're live. Greg Vetter Podcast. Special guest, Ryan Kerrigan, in the house. Former Redskin when the Redskins were the Redskins, and maybe they'll change their name again.
See?
We're a coach. The future is open now, right?
Oh, I mean, it is, but, hoping, just still waiting to find that next opportunity.
You got the knowledge.
Yeah.
So I went and spoke to the Commanders a couple years ago before a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I brought everybody one of my books, and the theme that I brought was, or I talked about, was Fortitudine Vincimus, which was by endurance we conquer. Right. And you sent me a note on Instagram, and you're like, dude, I'm reading your book. This thing's fucking crazy. So I was just, I had followed your career, and you seem just like a very interesting, down-to-earth guy, and reached out on Instagram, and here we are. And so, young buck in the grand scheme of the world, right? You're 37.
37, yeah.
37, four kids.
4 kids.
Married. And one of the first things we talked about was, I have some of my favorite books in here. This is by no means my normal library, but When Pride Still Mattered by Vince Lombardi, or about Vince Lombardi. And we were joking that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It is for, I guess, a select few, but I find as a dad, so I have 4 kids. My oldest is a freshman in high school. My youngest is in 4th grade. And it's the things that we grew up caring about. I'm 43, or I'm turning 43 this month. I feel like it's becoming more and more rare. Like, the parents, I feel, even though they're our age, I feel like they're not instilling that stuff in their kids anymore. I don't know, man. Like, you have a very different perspective being a D1 football player and then in the NFL, and seeing, in a long career too. How long?
Yeah, I was fortunate. I got to play 11 years, played 10 here in Washington, and then played my last one in Philly. I like to say I was kind of a shell of myself at that Philly one. My knee wasn't exactly all there. It didn't allow me to be the player I'd been accustomed to be, but got to play 11, so it was very fortunate.
Was that meniscus stuff?
Yeah. It started from my meniscus. I'd torn my meniscus back in 2013. And like a real smart guy, decided to play the rest of the season on. I did it in week 3. Decided to play the rest of the season on it. Not a smart decision, but think a little bit of pride and wanting to be out there for the team kind of led to that. And it was I still got to I played and was there for my team, but from that point on, it was just kind of a downward slope for my slope of my joint health for my knee, which by the time I got to year 9, 10, 11, it was a grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you tear your meniscus in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
You grind through it. Are you a captain at that time?
I was not a captain. No, not that season.
Yeah.
No.
And so, but you're a leader,
right,
on the team. And why did you want to play through it? Because I mean, that would be something that I would have done. Like, broke my hand playing lacrosse. Just basically got a plate put in it, put a cast, bought a glove, cut everything out, played with it, did that a couple different times. But a lot of people don't do that. So tear your meniscus and you're like, fucking tape it.
Yeah. Fuck, can I, it doesn't hurt that bad. And so, and I'd make that voice and joke, but like, that was really the mentality. And you talk about, pride. I was like, I had pride in being out there. And especially when it came to like how often I was out there, because if you go back to my rookie year and even into my second year, I didn't miss a defensive snap until week nine of my second season. So like every defensive snap.
Don't you have some record for that? Don't you own the record for like linebacker starts or something crazy?
Well, yes, and that and so I had that kind of mentality. Like if the defense is out there, I'm going to be out there. And the only reason that came to an end at week 9 of my second year was we were beating the Eagles by so much, and week 10 or week 9 or whatever that was, that they're like, hey, come out of the game, like you're like let's get rested up for next week. But then when that happened in week 3 of 2013 season, I kind of had to talk to myself like, look, like this hurts, like it's not healthy, but I feel like I can play, so I need to be out there. And I kind of threw caution to the wind, and you make your decisions, you live with the results and the outcomes. But that was my mentality, was if our defense was on the field, I wanted to be on the field.
So what did they do to get you on there from like a pain management or stabilization perspective so that you could perform to the best of your ability with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was morning treatments, mainly just keeping everything strong around it. And I unfortunately at the time didn't understand the function of the meniscus, which that's why I encourage a lot of young guys now, like, understand your body, understand like if a doctor or trainer is telling you this is injured, know what is injured and know like what that's role in that body part's role is within your body, so that it's not compromising other areas. And so I just thought, oh well, meniscus isn't an ACL, like you're not having surgery right away, so you're good. And then I don't think it helped, because the next week against the Raiders, I got 2 sacks and a forced fumble. So I'm like, oh, this ain't shit. Like,
Right.
I can do this. This is nothing. So, played the rest of the season on it. And I mean, like I said, I don't regret it, because it's like I was then able to start 139 straight games and be there for my team. That's what it mattered. That's what mattered to me. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to be able to, like I said, if the defense was on the field, I wanted to be on the football field.
That's interesting, because I feel like defensive guys, regardless of sport, are a different breed. So I played defense in lacrosse, and my brother Brian played offense, and our mindset for what it means to be successful in a game, or like what our role is from a team perspective, are polar opposite views of the world. Defense is, it's a great day if nothing happens.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yep.
So if it's 0, you're the greatest defensive player of all time. Offense, you need to score and do things, and that requires a different personality. And it's interesting because Brian's like the greatest sales guy that ever lived, which directly translates to being an offensive scorer. I guess it would be similar to like a wide receiver in football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then I was a close defenseman, so it was like my job was to prevent people from scoring.
Right.
And I think having a defensive mindset has really helped me in business, because, there's this really interesting personality test. It's called the PRF. It maps out all the personality traits, or like the core traits that make you you. It maps it as a percentile to everyone that's ever taken it. Under 30 for the score is extreme. Over 70 is extreme. So it doesn't matter if it's 73 or 100.
Yeah.
Extreme personality trait. So all of my personality traits, except for one, are extreme. So they're either below 30 or over 70, one of which is social recognition. It's like an 8. So I have no need or desire at all for anybody to be like, hey, man, you're doing a great job. It actually kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And I think that comes back to the defensive thing where it's just like, let me fucking do my thing.
Yeah.
Just let me stop this guy from doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let me break his arm if I need to do it. Let me fight if I need to fight, and just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, like leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, really, I mean, I'd say, man, hell, you'd have made a great mindset for an offensive lineman. Cause I mean, it's like, if you don't need any recognition, I mean, those dudes just put their face on people all day while the, receivers and running backs score all the touchdowns and get all the attention. So, I mean, hell, that you would have been fitting great in the O-line room.
That's true. I'm not big enough for O-line. I may, what do you think? What position could I have played?
I mean, you're jacked, you're athletic. I mean, get you out of tackle, man. Get you out of tackle. And yeah, I mean,
what do we have?
That's the big money position too. I mean,
what do we got, an over 40 league where you can teach me the ways?
Let's do it. Let's find, there's gotta be one, right?
I'm going to start a fourth career.
There we go.
So, not many, well, a lot of players try, but not many are successful going from player to coach. You seem to be doing a good job and you're passionate about it. What do you think is the reason, one, that you want to be a coach? And then two, why do you think you're good at it?
Well, I want to be a coach because, and it's ironic that in some ways that I did become a coach, because for probably the first 8 years of my playing career, I was like a hard no against coaching. People like, oh, you get into coaching, you should get into coaching later. And it was like, oh, no way. Because I had a lot of coaches throughout the early part of my career that they were sleeping at the facility. They were, kind of, some of them, I had one coach that used to brag that, oh, I'm not, it's Thursday. You know what that means? I actually get to shower today. And it's like, you don't have time to shower between, until Thursday of the week. I mean, that seems a little subjective, but but nonetheless, but they just kind of didn't model a lifestyle that really looked, attractive. But then as he got older, you start seeing coaches model it a different way, and guys that are, able to, you see them with their families, you see them, living, normal lives outside of the building as well. And so it became more attractive. But also in those years, I had younger guys coming up to me, asking me different questions about like, hey, Ryan, how do you see this? How would you attack this offensive lineman when he's punching you like this?
Mm-hmm.
How would you relate to this route concept and in coverage when we're a quarter flat dropper? And I realized, oh, I like imparting. I like teaching what I
like mentorship.
Yeah, I like giving the knowledge that I have. And so I was like, maybe I ought to give coaching a shot. And when I knew going into my last season playing, it was going to be my last season. And, after that, my wife, I give her the credit because she was kind of the catalyst for the coach. And she
really,
like, yeah, she was like, she very encouraging of it. She's like, Ryan, I think, you really ought to give this a try. Our kids are young. This is the time to do it. I think you'll be good at it. And, I was still, and while I was more open to it, I was still a little apprehensive, but fortunate to get an opportunity, with Ron Rivera and back here in Washington after taking a year in Philly. And I loved it. And I think one of the things that makes, a couple of things that made me successful at it are, one, my experience as a player. I mean, I think having that has been invaluable, just not only from just a teaching perspective, but just being able to relate. Yeah, being able to relate to guys. Like, I know, okay, it's week 9 of the season. Their bodies are feeling run down, feeling crappy, and that we still got, a long time to go and hopefully playoffs. So, we gotta, I can relate to them and empathize with them on that level. But then another thing too is I held myself to a high standard as a player, and I hold the players, to a high standard now as a coach. Like there's right and there's wrong. Like I don't really like to operate in that gray middle area. It's like, hey, like this is this is what we're looking for. This is not like, and if you're not doing what we're looking for, like that's going to be called out, and there's got to be something done about that.
I don't know if there's another way to coach, to be honest with you. I know people try, but without a common standard of excellence and consequences to actions when they do not meet that common standard,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how you do it.
Right.
I don't like this whole, like we'll let this guy be late and this guy doesn't, he has to be on time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can successfully build people. You may be able to get some wins that way, but I don't think that that is sustainable
Right.
from what I've seen in my life, whether it's coaching kids, running companies, building cultures, working with, leaders of different organizations. It's like, it seems to be easier if you just have a common standard of excellence. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know the rules of engagement. If you go outside of that, there are consequences. Here's what they are. I'm not fucking around.
Right.
And it seems easy enough. I don't know how often people do it.
Yeah, no, it like you said, it seems easy, but but if you're not if you're not holding everyone to the same standard, at least from an accountability standpoint, from work ethic standpoint, from hey, this is what we're looking for as from a time put in perspective, then you're not your culture is not going to be conducive to winning.
No.
And so holding people to a standard of like we mentioned, right, wrong. If what's right is going to be commended, what's wrong is going to be addressed. And if there's not going to be changes made from this end to make it right, then there's got to be consequences and there's got to be action taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you going into the Hall of Fame for college? Is that what I hear? Like,
No.
did you get nominated for that?
I got nominated. Yeah, I didn't get I last year, I got nominated. Did not get the
votes,
required votes.
But you're on the list.
I'm on the list, which that's cool with me because now I'm on the ballot, now. And so it's like, that's step one. To get on the ballot's hard. And you know what? I actually saw some of the dudes I was like on the ballot with like last year. I'm like, oh fuck, I guess this gonna be a tough road to haul. It's like, it was like some dudes, like Courtney Brown, like fuck, he was like the first pick in the draft, or like it was, So, but now I'm on the ballot, so now I just gotta, if any voters are listening, I'm fortunate to have gotten on the ballot. My guy Adam from back at Purdue got me on this.
That's cool.
Yeah, back this past cycle, so hopefully I can get some votes coming up.
How is Purdue?
I loved it.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I grew up in the Midwest, grew up like an hour east of Indianapolis in a city called Muncie. And Purdue's like 2 hours away. It's an hour west of Indianapolis. So I was close enough to home, but far enough. And then my college experience just was second to none. I mean, my group of friends were awesome. Like you still got our text thread going today.
Nice.
Talking shit and whatnot. So it was amazing. I loved it.
So where else did you get recruited?
I had offers from Indiana, Ball State, Cincinnati, some smaller schools. And then I got I had some interest from Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, but never an offer from them. Mm-hmm. So it was always like those schools like never, they recruited me and I thought there might've been interested might've led to something, but never an offer. So, it was, when I look back at it, I probably made the decision a little more complicated than it really was. I was like, okay, well, I can go here, I can get a good education and I can play pretty early. Like, yeah, why haven't you signed yet, dude? Like, what's the wait? So, yeah.
Did you have help or guidance making that decision?
Yeah, my parents, and they honestly, they kind of too were like, once like kind of all the dust settled on, okay, like these are where you got offered from, like Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, like these bigger, some of the like bigger, blue bloods, like they're interested, but they haven't offered, so they're not that interested. Like, like seems like you got a good thing at Purdue, man. Like, why don't you go there? And so it really, like I said, I made the decision tougher than it was. It was, it was a great decision to make.
So consistency, a lot of starts, a lot of snaps. It seems that you're very consistent. What is your, I'm trying to teach my kids right now the pregame routine and the pre-practice mental preparation mindset of like what needs to happen the night before a game, the day of the game, going into the game. What is your preparation process so that you were able to show up every single day in every single game at an elite level? Did you have anything?
Yeah. So I mean, it was a 7-day thing. Like to call it to for if I felt like if I was going to say like, okay, like this is what I did every Sunday so that I was ready to play, in that game, I feel like I would be cheating. It was like, no, this is what I did on Monday. This is what I did on
Yeah.
Tuesday. So no, it was really just holding myself to a standard every day of,
Yes.
okay, like what did I do to make myself better than the guy I'm going against on Sunday? It's like, okay, look, well, this breakfast, I had this, which was healthy. I had this, which was healthy. I had this, which was healthy, and blah, blah, blah. I didn't have anything that was bad. Bam, I beat him at breakfast. And then, okay, what am I doing to recover on Monday? Okay, well, I made sure I foam rolled this. I made sure I, did some tissue release on that. I got a good activation. I got a good stretch. I got my squat in, to get recovery and to get stronger. Bam, I beat him at the recovery. And so I played that mental game with myself a lot just to like, okay, we're playing against the Cowboys this week. Okay, like everything I did was like, okay, well, I'm competing with with their offensive linemen in breakfast and lunch and dinner. And I know that sounds like a psychopath kind of thing,
No,
but
love it.
that's how I approached it, because I was like, okay, like if I'm just think I'm going to go out there on Sunday and just be better than him, it's like, no, like I got to beat him at everything. And then it was like, okay, well, then you take it to practice, then you take it to walkthroughs and film sessions and studying and getting ready from from my notes. And so it was a 7-day thing.
Obsessional desire.
Yeah, I was obsessed. I was maniacal. When it came to preparation. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. All right, well, lights need to be off, and I might not be asleep, but I need to be getting myself ready to sleep. And well, you're not that tired. Well, you still need to get to sleep. Or it's, hey, it's 7:30. Have you had your 8th meal of the day, because you got to maintain your mass. Like, and so I was maniacal about preparation. And when it actually got to Sunday, on Sunday morning, I just was trying to just keep myself like, I tried to make sure physically I was ready, but mentally I just tried to make sure my mind was calm and in a good place, because if I know that like the anxiety and the buildup for an NFL football game was always a lot. And so I just tried to make myself as calm as possible. And then so that when the first play was there, I was just ready to just roll at that point.
Dude, that's so funny. So again, lacrosse is not football. It's not even close. But I had a very similar situation in terms of like, I wanted to be an All-American in college.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything I said, this is what All-Americans do. This is what All-Americans do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were in a run test and I was a freshman and it was a 5-mile run test. I had never run fucking 5 miles before.
I can't run that far.
And I was like, and they're like, all right, we're ranking every dude on the team on this 5-mile run test. We're like in the middle of cornfields. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I had worked construction all summer. Like I was not fucking prepared. So I just like started telling myself like, this is what all Americans do. And I just repeated it in my head like a fucking crackhead.
Yeah.
And the next thing I finished third in the entire team on that.
Yeah.
And I carried that through. And the same thing on the day of games, I would wake up so fucking juiced
Mm-hmm.
that I would have to listen to like Enya and David Gray
Yeah.
to calm the fuck down.
Right.
Because I would wake up just like tweaking out.
Yeah.
And I could not lose all of that rage
Right.
before game time.
Right.
And I was just like, how can I keep this bottled up?
Yeah.
You know, like other dudes are listening to death metal and
Right.
fucking jacking each other up in the locker. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to contain all of this so I don't lose it.
No, yeah, for sure. Like people always, oh, what pregame song gets you, would you listen to get you going? And it would be like a Zach Brown song, like a real, like, chill. And cause it's like if I'm listening to something that's going to like, try to, spike my adrenaline, not like I'm going to be worn out after 3 plays.
Yes.
But you bring up you repeat that mantra, you're repeating yourself. This is what an All-American does. This is what All-American does. And when you want to be great at something, like you gotta take yourself to those weird spaces. Like mentally, weird. Like you gotta like me. I can understand that me saying I'm competing with a offensive lineman at breakfast or competing with him on, a Wednesday. Oh, hey, I had a good film session. Okay. I beat him at the film session. Like, I know that might sound crazy, but those are the spaces you have to,
you have to go there.
Yeah.
And it's the same with building a business. And it's the same with anything that you want to do where you're trying to be elite.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be successful. No. Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be fit. Everybody wants to write a great book and have $1 million and do this and do that. And so you go, okay, so if everybody wants the same goals that I have, how am I actually going to accomplish them? And it's these little things that compound on themselves of like, and I tell my kids this all the time. I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. I don't, but I do because I need silence. And I write my goals out and I meditate and I read and I write. And I make them get up at 5 and we read and we write. And then we go take an ice bath. Does anybody want to get in an ice bath? No. I've been doing it for, I don't know how long, 7 years maybe. It never gets warmer.
No.
It's never going to get warmer.
Right.
But that is a mental battle with myself. I'm fucking getting in that thing because those little decisions of you're beating the offensive lineman at breakfast, or I'm in a battle with my weaker self to get into an ice bath, those little wins,
no doubt,
that's a muscle. You're building a muscle in your brain.
Right.
And those are the habits that I want to teach my kids. It's not that I want to teach them to be good at sports. Sports is the greatest area where there's immediate results, there's manufactured adversity, there are haters, there's politics, there's blood, there's sweat, there's tears. Hopefully no one dies, but like, can you get better? Can you figure out a way to get on the field? Can you get on the field and make an impact? Can you be a good team player? Do you have the capacity to lead? What are all your weaknesses? Can you fix the weaknesses? Can you turn those weaknesses into strengths? If not, can you make the strengths so strong no one cares about your weaknesses? And then once you figure that little template out, this little mastery of a subject, can you then take that and replicate it in something else in your life? Right. And, I'll hear parents go, well, I don't care if my kid's good at sports. Yeah, I don't care if they're good at sports, but I do care if they are dedicated to being the best versions of themselves in something that they chose to be in. Because why are we going to wait? Like, I don't need to fucking drive to Northern Virginia or Pennsylvania or any of these places for games if you are not going to beat the offensive line at breakfast.
Right.
Now, if you are going to do that, I will drive to the ends of the earth if you are my child.
Right.
Because we're going to see what you're made of.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many things, and I'm open to hearing from anybody out in the ether, show me something that is going to expose you in a more public setting than sports.
Yeah. No, there's nothing like it. I mean, you get immediate feedback. In sports. It's like, hey, this went great. Hey, this went horribly. Like, oh, this hurt. I don't want to do that again. Or, and you get to learn so much. You get to learn to deal with adversity, like you said. Like, my daughter, bless her heart, she's playing a soccer game the other day, took a ball off the face, and she didn't want to get back in there. She did, and in fact, she didn't. She really didn't want to get back in there. And my wife my wife was a college soccer player, and so she was kind of like, what the hell? Like, like that. Yeah, that happens. It sucks, but like, you gotta, like, this is part of sports. This is part of a life, and that you'll find in a grander scheme. Like, you're gonna get hit in the face. Like, there's gonna be adversity in life, but you got to keep moving through it. And bless her heart, she didn't have. I mean, when I saw her after the game, I was like, well, where'd you get hit? I don't see a mark. So thankfully, but I thought it was just such a great teaching moment that you're able to, that she got hit, probably didn't handle it the best in the moment, but then it was a good opportunity for us as the parents to be like, hey, like, that's going to happen in sports. That's no matter what you're playing, like, there's going to be something that negatively happens, whether it's a physical thing, like you taking one off the dome, or you losing a game, but how are you going to respond when that adversity hits? And that's what we're loving about sports right now for our kids, is that it's giving us teachable moments as parents. It's like, hey,
so many teachable moments.
I use the negative example now, but then I think of a positive one from a game last night that I had with my other daughter in softball. It's like, she was having tough time hitting the ball and kind of swinging and missing and whatnot. And I told her, hey, after 2 pitches, I told her, hey, like, take a step out, kind of gather yourself, like, adjust your hair, maybe the hair's in your face. She does that, bam, gets a hit. And it's like, all right, see, sometimes you just need to kind of just take a moment, get your, gather yourself, center yourself, and then, good things will happen.
So you have 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 3 girls and a boy?
Yeah, 3 girls, and then my son. Yep.
And what are the ages?
7, 5, 4, and 2. So
nice.
Yeah, they're for a brief blip in time, we were 4 under 4. Like, for about a month, we were 4 under 4. So they're awesome. They're a fun crew. They're lively as all hell. It's the house is just loud. It's fun. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So as a dad, and having daughters, right? Because your first one was a girl, my first one was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like God gave me a girl first because I needed to be softened up a little bit.
Oh, really?
What have you, like, obviously your life changes in a way that you can't really explain to other people. But like, what's one thing when someone's like, so what's it like to have 4 kids, or what's it like to have a dog? Like, is there something that dramatically changed where you can go, yeah, I mean, this kid came out and then this happened?
I don't think you can really prepare for like how things change. Like, when you have a kid, even like my wife and I always talk about, like, even from like the time, like for the whole pregnancy, like, we knew, like, oh, she's pregnant, like, well, but it's still it really just still is you two, and you're making decisions for you two. Then that first kid comes, and it's like, now you're making decisions based on her.
Yeah.
And then ever since her siblings came along, we're making decisions based on them. It's like, okay, well, what time are we getting up tomorrow in the morning? Okay, well, the kids have this, so I need to get up at this time.
Yeah.
Or hey, what are we doing for dinner tomorrow? Well, they got soccer practice, so dinner needs to be on the table at this time. And it's like, well, that's a weird time, but that's but that's what it's got to be. Hey,
Yeah.
so every decision you make is based on your kids, and
Yeah.
and we're so used to it now. Like, I mean, my oldest is 7, so they for 7 years now that's what we've been doing, and I'm really lucky because my wife and I are really on the same page, and
Yes.
really like we're almost like, very like just telepathy with how we're thinking, and like it's.
Where did you meet her? Where did you meet your wife?
I met her in Southern California through a friend, but it's
Where did she play soccer?
she played soccer at Cal Berkeley.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's been a soccer stud. She's trying to impart that on our kids and whatnot, and she's doing a great job because I tell you, they're little ass kickers on the soccer field, on the soccer pitch. Especially my second born. She gets after it. She's not afraid to put her face in the fan. So it's no, but I'm really lucky because just every decision we make is there. Like, it's not like, oh, dad wants this and mom wants this. It seems like it's usually pretty congruent with what we want.
well, I can tell you, I tell this to everybody. It's like, show me your spouse and I'll tell you whether or not you're going to be successful or not in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, if you do not have alignment,
Mm-hmm.
your life is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking horrible.
No doubt. And I mentioned earlier how she was very encouraging of my coaching career. And so it's like, I got people that ask me, like, oh, I bet Jess is having such a hard time during the football season because, you don't see the kids until Thursday and whatnot. And you're working however many hours a day. It's like no, she knew, like, she was the one who, wanted this, who encouraged this, like,
Right.
like, we're on the same page with this. This isn't like oh, I'm forcing this
That's
this
great.
football coaching life on
Yeah.
her. No, we're in this in this together, and my kids love it too. And so it's when you have that partner that really is a partner, it's like it's invaluable.
I mean, you cannot put a price on it.
No.
I mean, I don't know if this is true, but this was like through the rumor mill, but it was like, Rory McIlroy's wife, I guess, was like, they were having marital problems or something, and it was because he was playing too much golf. And you're like, he's a golfer.
No, man.
You met him when he was golfing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're not aligned
Right.
with that shit, or if you think, like, I met my wife in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I met her at my most meathead, wildest,
Your best version.
the best version of me. And she's, for the most part, has only encouraged and never tried to change me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's always been supportive. We've always been aligned. We are with our kids about values and nutrition and discipline and goal setting and, what is required to be successful in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when those forces of mom and dad are not aligned, when it's oil and water,
Yeah.
that is a recipe for disaster for a kid.
No doubt.
Because, like we were talking about originally, which is this common standard of excellence
Mm-hmm.
in, like, what's right, what's wrong. Well, if one parent's got their own version of right and wrong, and then another parent has their version of right and wrong, like, how is a kid ever gonna develop into anything?
Yeah, they're too young. I mean, that's like, for their brains to be hearing, oh, well, dad said this is how we're doing things. Oh, well, mom said this is how we're doing things. It's like, that's a lot. That's a lot for a young kid to try to navigate. So when you got that alliance, that congruence, and even if you're not exactly there, if your kids are able to see you and mom like get to that point together and meet together, like that's really powerful in its own right, because then they're seeing, oh, okay, maybe they disagreed, but they worked together to get to get to the common point.
Yeah. So very competitive for a very long time. Where do you, what's your competitive outlet now that you're not playing? So are you like golfing? Are you pickleballing? Are you fighting?
Yeah.
What, what, where are you getting the energy out these days?
And now you still get it in the coaching around.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
of course, it's just nice because you don't gotta go put your face on anybody and then worry about how much more cartilage you're losing in your joints. But no, it's I I joke, like I used to golf a shit ton. Like when I was single, like I played during the summertime. No kidding, would probably play golf, probably play 9 holes, probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Hmm.
I got to the course a lot, but then when we had kids, that subsided quickly. And I mean, I didn't even swing a club last summer, so I can't say golf. My thing right now is just I guess I compete with myself from a performance and nutrition standpoint. I kind of, I still, take my training very seriously. It just looks different now than when I played. When playing, it was like, how much can I lift? And I was a big weight room guy. I loved, putting up big numbers in the weight room, and okay, how much can I put on the bar? How many times can I lift it? Like, let's fucking do this. Like, and now it's like, okay, like I still want to lift and want to lift heavy, but I'm just going to be a little bit more, okay, well, you don't need to lift heavy and whatnot. So, that's still a big part of me. It'll always be. I mean, I love the weight room. That's my, that's one of my happy places. It's just being in the gym, throwing weights around, hearing the clanging of the weights. I had an old teammate. He used to always say, "Hey, we don't need music in here. We just need the banging and clanging of the weights." I was like, "Fucking right, dude. Like that's all we need."
I lift in silence.
Yeah.
I work out 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And I have the same morning routine every single day. And I can't even remember the last time I didn't work out because I had to do it.
Right.
It's like probably an actual addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful. And people go, well, what are you training for? And before it'd be like life.
Yeah.
Well, now I have a high school daughter. So I have I'm like, some dude's going to step to me one of these days. Yeah. I'm going to be fucking ready.
Right. No, I've said the same thing. And it's like, hey, I'm like, look, I'm just like, want to maintain some level of, I can kick your ass. Like that's all. Like, I'm like I ain't trying to, move 6 plates on the squat bar like, I was Wednesday, but like, I'm just trying to be like, hey, like if, I got 3 daughters, man, like I gotta be able to, I got to maintain some appearance of that, and
100%,
while also battling the not trying to put too much stress on my joints. It's a battle. It's a mental battle.
It is a total battle, and the craziest part, and I've got a couple years on you, but not many. Your impact to your body probably puts us either at the same age or you slightly older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, fuck, man, like something's always wrong.
Yeah.
And you just wake up, this isn't working right. Need to go to the chiropractor, need to go to the physical therapist, got to go get acupuncture, need to go get a massage, got some weird cream that'll numb it.
Yeah, right.
Trying to look into this. Maybe if I eat this way, it'll heal faster.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll do infrared,
Yeah.
So it's like you're always trying now to maintain the level of performance that at one point in your life came so easy.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, I remember like getting hungover the first time, like really hungover. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I used to be able to do that and then like go to a 2-hour practice
Right.
and dominate. Now, like, I can't get out of bed. And it's like the lifting side is just like, I'm just always sore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sore forever. And I'm okay with that because that means I'm putting my body through something.
Right.
But I do have like, like beach season's coming up. So it's like, hey, all right, time to fucking get shredded for beach season. Right. Like that's the goal there. And then after that's over, it's like, well, I'm going to bulk up for the fall. You know, like everyone's always tried to do something.
Right. No,
So yours is what? What's the one right now?
I mean, for me, I always, it's funny. I told myself when I retired, I was like, okay, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight and I'm going to just get into yoga. Cause like I've done just so much, harm to my body these past however many years. And I say 11 years, but really 15, because college football is a grind. College football, I mean, you put some tax on your body during college football. So I'll say 15, but, it was, and, so when I retired initially, I was able to take off a lot of weight, but it was really just through the weight room. And so
what was your playing weight?
I played at about 265, Thanksgiving week, probably 270, but about 265 most of my career. And then later in my career, it's got like 55, but I'd say 65 was the usual.
Just the old thick neck, Midwest.
Just, body by oatmeal. And it's crazy to think back to like what I had to eat to maintain that.
What did you have to eat to maintain 265?
I would probably eat 6,000. That was usually the floor of it for a day.
So like you wake up at what time?
Let's say I wake up during season, I wake up at 6 a.m. Let's say 6 a.m. Get over the facility by 6:30, start my lift 6:45.
You're lifting fasted?
No, when I would get over there, when I played, nowadays I do, but when I get over there, I'd, eat my breakfast first, first. And so then.
And what are you eating before you lift?
Before I ate, so my breakfast during my playing career was 2 chicken breasts, a half an avocado, 1 cup of oatmeal with berries, with strawberries, blueberries, raspberries on top.
Okay.
Why did I eat chicken breast? Well, because I found out that I had an egg intolerance that was, promoting inflammation and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so,
very also, high histamine food. People don't know that.
And so I had to make that conversion to try to limit that inflammation. But also then I was like, well, hell, there's so much more protein in chicken. Like I'm going to get, friggin' yoked and whatnot. And so that was my breakfast. And then, go get my lift in. After that would be my first smoothie of the day. And my smoothies were no joke. It was like probably 2 cups of milk. So, 2 cups of milk and
whole milk.
And then I usually went 2%, but, then I, 2 scoops of protein powder, peanut butter, just a gob of peanut, never measured the peanut butter, but it was like, when you think about actually how many, like nowadays when I'm, as a smaller version of myself, I think about how many calories are in peanut butter.
Dude,
I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's pure calories.
Oh my gosh. And you just never think about that. But then just a gob of peanut butter, banana, berries. And then what I would do with my smoothies, add a cup of dry oatmeal to blend that in there just to get more calories. And so, and I would drink a smoothie like that, after I lift, but then 2 more times throughout the day. And so,
so that was probably like, 700 calories, you think? 700, 800?
That's on the low end of for sure of that smoothie. I'd say most of the time it was 850 to 1,000. It was like, it was, I mean, they were.
So your gob of peanut butter was like a softball.
Yes. And so, and so it was no, and then like I said, a whole cup of oatmeal. So that's
dry.
And so that's like 3, 4, like it was, I mean, these were serious smooth, like these weren't like these weren't what you were seeing at the smoothie shop.
So you're not doing celery juice.
No, this was a performance shake. And so, but this is what I knew. This is what.
So you had 3 of those suckers.
Yeah.
What was lunch?
Lunch was, I mean, usually 2 big things it was basically how I'd structure my lunch was basically at most of my playing career, you'd have, they'd have pre-portioned plates for you at work. And so you'd be, your protein, your starch, and your vegetable. I would just make sure I ate 2 plates. 2 plates. So it was this double. I'm sorry. It was this double everything. So it was just, it could have been anywhere. It was probably a 1,200 calorie lunch, every day. And then dinner was just mirrored lunch. They just mirrored lunch. It's just 2 heavy plates. And so and little snacks in between that, you didn't even, the little protein bars and what they you don't even count. You're like, oh yeah, that's this. You didn't even think about those. But I knew I had to do that to
maintain 265.
Maintain it and make sure it was a good 265, not, wasn't going to cheeseburger and pizza my way to my playing weight. I was going to make sure it was, functional and lean. So again, that I could had that mental edge, over my opponent.
So what's your goal now weight wise? What do you every day you're like, I'm going to be,
I think I'm at about 215 right now. So I've taken like 50 off since I've played, but I think if I'm anywhere from 210 to 225, I mean, I give myself a lot of room. It's anywhere in that range, I feel like I'm pretty good. Cause when I was about to retire, the doctor saw my scans and he was like, look, I think you'd probably do yourself a good service to lose 50 pounds when you got rid
for your joints.
Yeah. Cause like my knee was in such rough shape. And they also looked at me as a whole and they said, like, I know you're 265 and you're in shape and like, you're like a lean 265, like you have good, good body comp. But like your body has been carrying, like your skeleton's not very big for how big you are. And so like your body's been carrying this around for, since college, like basically like, so I think you do yourself a good service to, lose weight and take a lot of stress off your joints. And so
does it feel good?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, my knee is what it is. I'm bone on bone. So so you're
going to get a new one?
Yeah. At some point. I mean, that's a when, not an if, but I mean, it feels good right now. So but generally, yeah, I feel awesome.
My buddy had that on his hip.
Yeah.
And just got a new hip.
Mm-hmm.
And he delayed it forever.
Yeah.
And he regrets delaying it.
That's what everyone says.
Just as a heads up, like he was like, for years, every time we talk, he's like, going again. I'm going to go get an injection here.
Yeah.
It fucking hurts. And like he got it. And he's like, I'm an idiot. I should have done this so long ago.
Well, and that's what everyone I talk to that's had joint replacement, they say their only regret is they wish they would have done it sooner.
Yeah.
Now I know people say like hips are a little bit more easier than knees. Like knees I've heard are tough. So I'm not looking forward to it, but I know I like to say it was the cost of doing business for me.
Hell yeah.
So I like, you go back to 2013, you had that decision point, okay, like you tore your meniscus and you can go this way or this way. And this is the road I chose. And I don't regret it.
I got it great. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, Dr. Chris Good, who owns the Virginia Spine Institute, which is like right near you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
When you go to get it,
Mm-hmm.
you should just call him and his team. He's got a whole orthopedic side as well.
Mm-hmm.
I bruised my bone marrow in my femur.
Oof.
And
how'd you do that?
I'm explosive torque.
Yeah. Just way too explosive. That was in the doctor's notes.
No, they were like, we only see this in like pro sprinters. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm basically that guy.
Yeah.
No, I was fucking playing basketball against a bunch of young dudes. And I was just like, jumping really apparently explosively.
Yeah.
And
too much force production.
Too much force. And woke up next day, was like, man, I'm sore. Like, but understandable. It was very competitive. And then like a week later, I'm like, I'm still really sore. And then a couple weeks later, I'm like, something's fucked.
Yeah.
So I went in and they're like, dude, you're not going to believe this, but like you bruised your bone marrow and it's like leaking behind your kneecap.
Oh,
and then it's causing all of this knee. It was crazy.
Oh man.
But I got PRP and a bunch of other shit. They did a great job. Shout out to my boy, Chris Good.
Okay. Yeah.
He also, side note, not to plug him for any reason other than he's a wonderful guy. He just did like the first ever robotic spine surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
He was just in the news for it.
Right on.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy.
Yeah.
But he works on a lot of like pro athletes and a lot of like very kind of high profile dudes,
Yeah.
not to mention any names, but like you could be on that exclusive list, man.
Hey man, so if he can give me all that extension back in my knee, then he's all right by me.
All right. So switching topics slightly, what are you up to now work wise?
I'm in between right now. I've had some opportunities this past coaching cycle, but trying to be selective about
Yeah.
those opportunities. I got young. I want to continue on and continue to ascend because I feel like I haven't reached my ceiling as a coach yet, and I feel like I still got a lot to give to the game. But I also this is my kids are only young ones, so I'm not trying to um just jump the gun at anything to pull me away from them, because as much as I love football and I love the grind of it, and I love that it's difficult, and I love that working through difficult things. I understand like being a present father and being and helping my wife to raise kids that that are productive members of society is a big thing for us.
Well, it's the only thing.
Yeah.
I can tell you, as a dad that has been through hell in a handbasket, you read one of my books. Well, what was your quote? Like, is this guy's real life?
It's like every chapter I'm about to put it down. I'll do a chapter 9, and I'm like, fuck, like, I gotta see how they respond to this.
And Mo worked there with me. He was there, so he can vouch for all that crazy shit. But the interesting part about going through all of that is that you figure out that the only thing that matters are, and I say this all the time, the 4 things money can't buy, which is your time, your soul, your health, and your children's love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can rise and you can fall. You can have every accolade in the world. If your fucking kids don't love you, if you don't have your health, if you don't have your soul, if your time is owned by somebody else and you have no influence over it whatsoever, like, your life sucks.
Yeah.
And as an ambitious person, and I can't speak for you, but it was like, I felt like there were times where I was willing to trade, never my children's love, but I was willing to trade my time for sure. Like, I will fly anywhere at any time. I will go do anything to accomplish this goal. Like, I will do whatever it fucking takes.
Well, the time, I'm sure you saw, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You thought that was cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business. Yeah. I was trying to build a better life for my kids, and but I think it's very it's noble, but it's wise also in your approach, because like I joke with Genevieve all the time. I'm like, we should have had 10 kids. Like, if I had known how great they were all going to turn out and how much I love spending time with them. And like, the only thing now, and the reason I say we should have had 10 kids is like, the years that you're in right now, fuck, dude, it's like, those are awesome. Like, the years I'm in now, awesome, still awesome, love them. But like, the under 11, like before middle school, like elementary and under, like that shit is awesome.
Yeah. I that's good perspective, because I even think back to like when I was in middle school, and I'm like, yeah, things just seemed like that's when like middle school was kind of where it like things just kind of start to change a little bit. But no, I mean, our like where my wife and I are at right now with 7 and under, like our kids still want to spend all the time with us. They still, scream when we run in the house, and it's really cool. And it just, I mean, there's no better feeling than like you feel like a concrete hero when you walk in the door. It's like I come home with dinner the other night and it's like, Dad's here. Yeah, it's the greatest day of my life. Like I'm the fucking man. Like it's like, and it's just cool. I mean, there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, man. You have anything else for the world to know, or you want to touch on anything that we didn't touch on?
Not in particular. I'm thankful to be on this podcast with you, man. I feel like, you and I share a lot of, we're aligned in the way we think a lot. And I loved your story, man. It was, I mean, not only because like I'd mentioned, like it was just a fun read, but also just, I mean, the little nuggets at the end of each chapter. I mean, and I think the one you said that really, spoke to me the most was when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Like, cause you're not like, cause when you think you're done, like you just hang on just a little bit more cause you got more left to give. And I feel like that's so true. Cause it's like, I know there were times like when I was a player at the end of my playing career, like when I knew the end was near, like there were times I wanted to quit and give up. Cause like when I was in Philly, my body just wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. And it was tough. And I remember being on the phone with my wife, like, I don't know, like, should I just hang it up now? Like, this is not going well. And I mean, bless her heart. She just was able to, talk me through those times. But really it was okay. Like I'm at the end of my rope, but let me just tie a little knot and just hang on, just tie my grip a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's an important thing to do in life because you're going to get brought to the edge. You're going to get brought to your knees at times. And it's like just when you're at that moment, just push a little bit more.
Yeah.
Push a little bit more.
I also believe it's like, that's when God gives you the gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he wants to see if you're going to tie a knot.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to let go.
Yeah.
And if you're really holding on.
Yeah.
And like you're fully committed, that like at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
At the 59th minute.
Right.
When you're like barely hanging on anymore and you're about to let go and you've like said your goodbyes and you're like, fuck, man, like I've done all that I could do. He's like, surprise.
Yeah.
Fucking here you go, man.
Yeah.
Here's the next chapter.
Yeah.
It's not what you thought it was. It's going to be way better. But like you literally have to be taken to the absolute limit.
Yeah.
And you don't even know where the limit is.
Right.
Right? Because like initially when you're sliding down the rope, your hands are bleeding. You see the end of the rope. You go, well, that's the end of it.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you go, fuck, I'm no. Like now I got a little more. I wonder how long my grip can hold.
Right.
And then time goes by and the sun goes up and it comes down and like you're able to survive somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know for me, it was like, there were points during that season where I was certain I was just going to quit, like give up during, like call it a career during mid season. But I just remember thinking like, all right, like, let me just get through. Let me just practice tomorrow. Let me just not get through. I never liked that mindset of get through, but like, let me practice tomorrow and just have a better day. And rather than trying to say, oh, let me get through this next month. I just tried to get really small. Like, okay, like let me have a great meeting tomorrow. Let me have a great lift tomorrow. Let me have a great practice. And those were just me tying little knots that helped. And I'm really glad I did because I know I would have, regretted like hell if I would have, let go.
Well, and aren't you proud of yourself for doing that?
I am because in a lot of like most of my career was just incredible. Like I was just had all the, the success and everything is all gravy and hunky dory. And, having been exposed to that adversity and having to go through it and and fight through it. It was good for me. I mean, it wasn't fun, but it was good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're the man, dude.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, man.
All right. Greg Vetter Podcast. Big dog Ryan Kerrigan in the house. Thanks for coming. We will see you all next time. See ya.